I am jealous of my father's step-grandchildren because I never received the same attention.
Oh.
Hi, everyone. This is my very first ever Reddit post, and I thought this was the perfect group to post it in. Sorry, this turned into a rant. I, 29 female, have a strained relationship with my dad. I'm pretty sure he doesn't see it as strained, but from my side, it is. By the way, this comes from Secretly Sociable on the r/OKstorytime subreddit. So for some background, my parents divorced when I was 4 due to my dad's job. He had to move around the country in the United Kingdom a lot. My mom kept us in the same house and gave up a lot to make sure I grew up as happy as I could doing the hobbies I wanted to do, which didn't come cheap for a single mother. Due to the distance my dad lived away from me, I only saw him 3 times a year during school holidays. What also didn't help was that when I was 5, he married my ex-stepmother, whose name is literally Karen.
No!
Literally married a Karen.
She was born to be this terrible person.
What are you doing, buddy? I loved my step-siblings. One was the same age as me, and the other was 2 years older than me. They were great. Freaking stepmother Karen, on the other hand, was not.
Surprise, surprise.
Surprise, surprise. She never liked me, seemed jealous of me for some reason, and when bish about my mom in front of me with my dad and forced me to call her mom. Now, safe to say, when I found out that she left my dad when I was 10, I was relieved and literally jumped up and down with joy once my dad ended the phone call. Dude, I was sad for my dad as it came out of left field for him, but as an adult, I can now see that Karen used my dad for his money.
Ruh-roh.
He wasn't rich, just had a really good paying job. She hung on for the family holiday to Disney World in Florida and getting qualified for her dream job, and then ditched my dad, and I lost contact with my step siblings because she probably bished and lied about my dad to my step siblings, so they refused all contact. Anyways, the upside, my dad met his current partner. Let's call her Hope. Hope came when I was 12, and they've been together ever since. I secretly wish that she had been my stepmother since I was 5 because she is awesome. Which brings me to now. I do love my dad. And I know a lot of the struggles I have with our relationship stem back to Karen and the rift that she caused, and only seeing him 3 times a year, a week at Christmas, a week at Easter, and then 2 weeks in the summer, which was enough for me because I hated going when he was with Karen. But when I was a teenager, Hope really helped my dad and I get close. Then I turned 18 years old, I headed off for university, and it was like my dad suddenly didn't know how to talk to me. The texting went back to infrequent, and I just shrugged it off because I had my mom anyways and was enjoying learning to be an adult. Yeah, when you're 18, like that's like prime, like I don't want to, I'm just being
right.
I'm an adult kid, you know,
right?
Like, I'm eating pizza with my friends.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
drinking boba.
Making your own decisions to act like a child.
Right. Very quick side story.
Yeah.
I moved from Florida to here when I was 17, 18, and
Nice.
I'd never heard of boba, and I got flamed.
Really?
They're like, you don't know what boba is?
Wow.
Freaking idiot.
They exiled you?
They exiled me.
Dang.
That was my 18 becoming an adult.
Wow.
Story. I was drinking boba instead of talking to my parents. Yeah.
That sounds great. I don't even like boba, really.
Really?
Yeah.
And I was spending my student loans on pizza and books and eating as much pasta meals as I wanted. At this time, Hope's children started to have kids. I like her kids, just not close because they're 6 to 8 years older than me. And I get when my dad and Hope got together, they didn't want to hang out with this random 12-year-old that would just occasionally show up. And now they've got growing daughters and I'm still single. Still living at home with my mom. Poor mom. I left home twice for university and then came back. Anyways, over the past few years, I've gotten jealous of the girls because it feels like my dad is getting a do-over at raising me. Lock in. I see what's going to put an ICU in the chat. He never came to my school sports days or swimming competitions. I used to compete for the local team or come to any of the school shows that I acted in, even though I would tell him via text, and I know my mom wouldn't have been against it because she didn't want me to miss out on a relationship with my dad. She even said she hated Karen, but she likes Hope for my dad and me. Recently, one of the girls is competing in swimming, and I have to say she is much better than me. Ooh, that makes it hurt even more. She won all the medals I never could.
Right.
And I would love her to make a professional go of it, as that is what she dreams of. She's 9 years old right now.
Aw.
Last time I visited my dad, he took me to the younger one's school sports day, taking videos and photos like the proud granddad. And 2 days later, we went to the 9-year-old swim meet. He kept talking about how well she was doing, how the team was thinking of her to compete in the next age bracket because she was getting so good.
Wow.
I was just sitting there getting angrier and angrier because he never came to anything with me. I think he knew something was up because he shyly asked me how well I did in swimming after I curtly explained how they'd run the competition from my own experience. And I curtly replied that over the few years I swam, I got a couple of bronze medals, a few silvers, and 8 gold medals. But that was the end of that. Opie says, my mom once recorded a horse riding lesson where I was doing big jumps for me to show to my dad. He never watched it.
No.
Can't watch a video.
Oh.
And I know he loves me. I even got an apology text after my university graduation, and he said how brilliantly my mom did in raising me. Suck it, mom's older brother that told her when I was 5 that I would go off the rails because my parents divorced. But since graduating, the picture I gave my dad of me shaking the hand of the university chancellor in my hat and robe, I once saw the picture half out of its cardboard frame, sat on top of a stack of CDs. But that was 6 years ago. So it's like one time 6 years ago, I saw it like half opened on some old CDs.
Yeah.
And it's like even 6 years ago, like CDs, probably not using them.
Right. Not even framed or
not
anything.
Even framed. Half, like it's almost like even worse that it's like half opened.
Yeah.
Because at least if it was unopened, there's like plausible deniability. Oh, maybe he like didn't know what it was or he forgot to open it. But it's like he half opened. He's like, no, I'm good. And just like kept going.
Oh my gosh.
He went back to his CD collection. So now there's not a single picture of me up at my dad's house.
Aww.
There used to be a picture of me and my dad when I was 2 years old and one of me when I was at school leavers dance / prom, but they have gone as well. But there are pictures of the grandkids everywhere. I've got an undergrad degree and a master's, and my dad has only ever said he was proud of me at both graduations. Not when I got my job, not when I was in school passing my GCSEs and A levels. By the way, if you want to score a perfect score, you can always tap our profile to join our lives every weekday at 3 p.m. PST. We're live on YouTube. We're live on Facebook. Probably live right now. So tap the profile. Get on in here.
Tap it.
But there's more to the story. What do you think Opie should do here? Does she do nothing? Does she like confront the dad? Like what do you think is the best approach?
I don't even know because it's like as Opie, I would want to say so much to my dad and say like, you know, like this is just really frustrating that like it's hard to watch that like, you know, you were not this perfect dad to me and it's great that you're being this perfect dad to her, but also like what the heck, you know? But it's also like there's nothing to do about it at this point too, because it's like it's already been done. So and like I guess he's getting better for this new person, but it's like it's just like so unfair.
This might sound like it's excusing him, but it's not. I think he might be just a complete idiot and not like putting 2 and 2 together fully in his brain. It seemed like he did a bit at the swim meet, or he's just so ashamed of himself that he doesn't even want to like almost like mentioning it is like acknowledging like what he's done. I think that it feels like it's weighing so heavily on Opie's heart. Like I think Opie deserves to be able to just like kind of sit him down and be like, hey, look, am I glad you're an active like granddad? Yeah, of course. Like, you know, the kids deserve that.
Right.
But like you being like so active and it's kind of like in my face, especially like the swim meets, like I had swim meets, you never even basically just kind of like read this post to him, honestly.
Yeah.
And then just like let him freaking stew in it.
Right. You're probably right about that. Like, you know, it could be the thing where it's like he's good now because he understands how much he messed up. Yeah. You know what I mean? Maybe he's just stupid or he's just, I don't know. I don't know what happened, but obviously there was a change that doesn't just like randomly happen. So maybe you could just talk to him and be like, hey, like, I just want to like see how you feel about this because I just want to communicate how I feel really bad. Maybe there's something that they can do to kind of make up some of that time together or something.
Yeah, I think it'll bring them closer together.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, it almost feels like, this is maybe not the best way to frame it, but like letting him off the hook. And I think that he does need to understand the gravity of his actions.
Yeah, he needs to be confronted by it a little bit.
Yeah.
Instead of like avoiding it, which he probably is.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. I wonder if it will happen after an update.
Funny you say that because we got one.
No way.
So I'm asking if I am the a-hole because of how jealous I am of a 9-year-old and a 7-year-old for being annoyed at my dad and wanting to say something petty in revenge at my dad, but I am an extrovert. And while I may daydream about confronting my dad, I just don't have it in me. So if anyone has any good comments that hopefully won't lead to an argument, please let me know. Again, just to quickly cap that.
Yeah.
I think, again, like, honestly, maybe just send this post to him.
Yeah.
If it's, I know it can be hard to confront, but it's like, hey, listen, I've been going through some things with everything you've been doing with the kids. If you care about me, read this and call me.
Yes.
So that's it.
I agree.
All right.
That's all.